Hi guys, today we're going to be having a go at drawing Tutankhamun's death mask, and we're going to be using pigments like the Egyptians to paint with, so either tea bags or spices. Please ask your parents for these though. You're going to need a pencil, wax crayons or oil pastels are good for this, a black pen and your paper, but please go and ask an adult for those things. First thing you're going to do is fold an A4 piece of paper in half because our mask is going to be the size of one of those halves. Then we're going to start with the top of his headdress. So we're going to be doing a curve up and round, and we want to make sure that we're going to the edge of the paper as much as possible. We want to leave a gap, but we want to use as much as that paper. So we're just curving around a bit like a C. Then we're going to bring each line slightly out on each side. So we want to aim to the same length. And we're going to bring them in just slightly with two little lines. Make sure they're in line with each other. And then we're going to be bringing the line down and doing a slight curve on the end, a bit like an L. So an backwards L on this side. So we're going almost to the bottom of the paper, we're just leaving a slight gap. And we're just going to extend them a bit. Then in line with where it comes in from that point, we're going to be doing a straight line down to meet the end of our curve. And same again on the other side. So make sure they are in line with each other. Cool. Then we're going to add the bottom of his chin. So it's going to dip between those two lines. We're not touching the lines, we're leaving a slight gap. And we're going to make sure his chin just comes underneath. Then we're going to add the false beard. So it's going to come down in the middle. We're going to curve it around and down, so we're getting kind of in, so it's a bit like an ice cream cone. And then curve it round at the bottom. So we're going to take the side of his head up. We're not going to go all the way because we're going to be adding some ears just about here. So almost like question marks. Again, make sure they're in line. Another one on the other side. Curve and down to meet the side of the face. And then over the top, we're going to do a bridge, a curve. And then we're just going to follow that up with some lines. And then these bits here, we're just going to do two slight curves to meet the face. Now his eyes, we want to be kind of in the middle of his ears. So we're just going to put in a guideline for ourselves. And I'm just going to do 2 points where I want them to start. And curve under to meet that line. Put in his pupil and same again on the other side. And then his eyebrows, which curve over the top. Then the nose, which is kind of like an L shape again. And then we're going to put an M in, which we're going to then extend on either side, and then the bow underneath. And just put a little line for his chin. Now you need your wax crayons or your oil pastels. So we're going to start by putting some straight lines coming down in blue. So start at the edge of that line and then colour it in. Then we're going to leave a gap and then we're going to do another one. You're just going to continue this through the top of the head. Now the reason we're using oil pastels or wax crayons is when we add our paint on top, they're going to resist the paint. So when you've done that, down the side, we're going to come down with those lines again. So just colour them in. And then exactly the same on the other side. Okay, when you've done that, you're going to go over the features on the face in the blue oil pastel or wax crayon. And then on the false beard, we're going to add some lines coming diagonally down. And then every one of those I'm going to thicken up. And then I'm going to cross it with some other lines going diagonally the other way. Looking good. So now we're just going to go around all the outlines with the blue wax crayon or oil pastel. Alright, now for the fun part. So if we're going to paint the tea, I've just got a few old tea bags in some hot water, warm water. I've left them for a while. Get an adult to do it though, please. Leave them for a while to brew and then just wash over with your paintbrush. If you want to try spices, I've got either some smoked paprika or some turmeric. Ask your parents, please. I'm just going to mix it in some water. Give it a good stir up. I've just used cold water. And then wash over. And for this, it doesn't matter if you go outside the lines. I quite like the spices. I think they add a real dark kind of colour to it and look a bit more goldy. So then you just need to leave that to dry. When that's dry, guys, grab your black pen and we're going to go around the outline of the mask. Go around the outline of the face as well. And then we're going to go over all the lines. So I've gone over the lines on the false beard. And the other way. And then I'm going to get all the features on the face as well. And then finally, I'm going to go down either side of my lines, my blue lines. Then we're ready to cut it out. So when I'm cutting out, I'm going to leave a slight gap. So I'm cutting slightly away from the edge of it. Just giving it a nice border. And if you remember last week, we did our sacred symbols. You can stick him on top. Well done, guys.